Did you have a fast start in the real estate business or a slow start?
Well, I was still working full-time at Trudy's when I got started, and I was still bartending and managing. And what happened was I went to a company called Prudential Owens Realty here in Austin. It's about a mile away from where I'm sitting right now. And what happened was I went through their training program, and they basically said, it was about a 2-week training program where they taught you how to contact expired listings and for sale by owners and your sphere of influence. And so what I did was for 3 months I called every single person I knew. I called anyone that I had worked with at Trudy's. I called my sphere of influence, which was very, very hard, just to make those calls and tell people, hey, I'm in the real estate business. A lot of those people knew me as a bartender, knew me as a bar manager, and so it was hard for them to picture me actually helping them with one of their biggest investments that a person ever makes. So it was very tough, and I actually was calling for sale by owners and expired listings, and finally, after 3 months, I had my first listing, and it was a mobile home, and it was about an hour and a half away, and the seller was a real pain in the bottom. So fortunately, what happened was that I was also out educating myself. I think it's super important as an agent that you get out and you preview homes and you start learning the market really, really well. And I was doing that. I was going out on property tours a lot, which is where a bunch of agents get together and go out and look at different properties that are for sale. And so I was out on property tour one day, and this gentleman, an agent, jumped into my car for a property tour. He just said, do you mind if I ride with you? And he got in the car, and for 2 hours, basically, he was on the phone, making deals happen, getting things done, and I was just like, I want to be that busy, And at the end of the property tour, he got out of my car, came back up to my window, and he said, I'm looking for a buyer's agent. And I'm just fresh in the business. I have no idea what he's talking about, so I'm like, okay, well, good luck. And I had no idea who this guy was. Well, it was about a month later, and I was in my office at Prudential Owens. I was getting ready for an open house that I was going to do, and I see this magazine called Broker Agent Magazine, and who's on the cover? It's this gentleman that I met, James Willoughby. So I opened up this magazine, and I started reading about him and who he was, and finding out that he's one of the top RE/MAX agents in the country, and he's top agent in Austin. And I at that moment realized also, because I was listening to some Mike Ferry tapes about what he was talking about as bringing on a buyer's agent. So I was going to call him that day. It was a Saturday afternoon. I remember it very vividly, because I had to go to Trudy's to go to work that night. And I went into Trudy's. I went, and I was standing behind the bar, and no kidding, this is a totally true story, up walks James Willoughby to the bar, and he's like, hey, man, how are you? And I said, I can't believe this. I said, I was going to call you today. I just realized what you were talking about when we met. He said, great, let's meet this Thursday. We met that Thursday, and totally changed my life. Totally changed my life. I ended up going to work for him, and he put me on a book called 30 Days to Success, and it was a daily regimen of exactly what I needed to be doing to get my business moving in the right direction. So he said to me, I've had several buyer's agents, probably about 10 now, and I've given this book to all of them, and none of them finished it. And he said, and none of them are with me anymore. So I took that book and I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to finish it. I'm going to do every single thing that it asks me to do in this book, and I'm going to be his top agent. I'm going to see success in this business. So it started out with, which, I know we're going to talk about mindset later and such, but it started out having me doing affirmations and visualization and goal setting and what's called a quantum leap exercise, and all of these different things, writing in a book, writing in a journal 25 times every single day for 30 days. I will enjoy success through selling 4 homes per month. And it was what I didn't realize was this was all training my subconscious mind, and it was training my mindset and getting me to think success. And within about at the end of that 30 days, I had completed the book. I was super busy. I had my first closing a month later. That was July of 1998. And between July and the end of the year, I ended up selling 22 homes. The following year, as his buyer agent, I had an incredible year. I ended up selling 67 homes that first year as a buyer agent for him. And so the short answer to your question is I had a slow start at the beginning, but then when I went and worked for James, it was like a rocket. It was my career just took off, and it was pretty awesome, and I'm very thankful to him still to this day, and I let him know it every time I see him.